Did you know WD-40 can save you thousands of dollars in expensive car repairs? Here's the kicker. Most mechanics don't share these WD-40 secrets with you, and not knowing these is costing you thousands of dollars every year. But don't you worry, because today we'll break down the 17 WD-40 secrets that you definitely don't know can save you thousands in car repairs. We start with a secret mechanics are definitely hiding it from you. Secret number 1, diagnosing fuel injector. Fuel injector cleaning costs $300 to $800 at dealerships, but the real problem is moisture in your fuel system creating corrosion that clogs injector ports. Here's the secret mechanics hide. Add 2 ounces of WD-40 to a full tank every 3 months. Water's heavier than gasoline, so it settles at the bottom where your fuel pickup sits. Every startup pumps this contaminated fuel through your system, leaving mineral deposits that choke your injectors. WD-40 displaces this water and dissolves light varnish buildup before it becomes expensive. This keeps your fuel system clean for 100,000 miles, while mechanics wonder why your injectors looks perfect. What's more, the molecular structure of WD-40 is similar enough to gasoline that it burns cleanly without harming your engine. Plus, some old-school mechanics have used this trick for decades but keep it secret. Best of all, you'll notice smoother idle and better acceleration within a few tanks of using this method. But wait until you see this paint trick. Secret number 2, paint erasure hack. Those mysterious paint streaks on your bumper after parking lot encounters. Body shops charge $75 to $150 to remove what's basically paint sitting on top of your clear coat. Dealerships will quote $300 for paint repair when it's just surface transfer. Here's the technique that works every time. Spray WD-40 on the affected area, wait 1 to 2 minutes, then buff gently with a microfiber cloth. You'll see the foreign paint come off while your original paint stays intact. For stubborn transfers, apply a second coat and let it penetrate longer. Always test a small area first, then apply quick detailer afterward to restore shine. This method works on everything from shopping cart scratches to minor bumper taps, saving you hundreds in unnecessary body work. Here's the kicker. Professional detailers often use this exact same technique, then charge premium prices for the service. Additionally, the key is using circular motions and never applying too much pressure during the buffing process. Surprisingly, you can even use this trick on paint transfer from curb rash on your wheels. Secret number 3, diagnosing window motor. Window motors burn out fighting sticky tracks every day. When windows move slowly or make grinding noises, that motor's heading for a $400 replacement plus $200 labor. The real problem? Dirt, brake dust, and moisture create friction in the tracks, overworking the motor until it burns out. Most window motor failures are preventable. Just make sure you have a WD-40 you can use. Then spray WD-40 liberally into the tracks, springs, pulleys, and pivot points. Work the window up and down by hand to distribute the lubricant. Do this every 6 months to prevent expensive motor replacement. The alternative is being stuck with windows that won't roll up when you need them most. What's interesting is many window regulators also benefit from this lubrication, extending their lifespan significantly. Believe it or not, some mechanics charge $50 just to spray lubricant on window mechanisms during routine service. Trust me, this next secret will shock you. Secret number 4, throttle cable deicer protection. Ever had your gas pedal stop responding in freezing weather? Your throttle cable's frozen solid, and dealerships charge $200 to $400 for cable replacement when the cable's perfectly fine. Moisture seeps into the cable sheath through tiny openings, then freezes solid when winter hits. Here's the magic solution. Spray WD-40 into both ends of the throttle cable housing, at the gas pedal and throttle body. The penetrating oil displaces moisture and creates protective coating that prevents future freezing. Work the pedal several times to distribute the WD-40. Do this before winter and monthly during freezing weather. This simple prevention beats expensive emergency repairs and dangerous situations where you can't accelerate when merging into traffic or climbing hills. Remarkably, the water displacement formula was originally designed for nuclear weapons storage, making it incredibly effective at preventing moisture-related problems. On top of that, emergency road service calls for frozen throttle cables cost an average of $200 just for the tow truck. Even better, you'll actually feel the throttle response improve as the WD-40 penetrates and lubricates the inner cable mechanism. You'll definitely be surprised by this transmission secret that will save you thousands. Secret number 5, transmission shift solenoid hack. Modern transmissions use electronic solenoids to control every shift. When electrical connections corrode, transmission shops charge $800, $1,200 for solenoid replacement, when it's just dirty connections causing communication errors. These solenoids have external electrical connections exposed to road contamination and moisture. Corrosion creates false resistance readings, making the computer think solenoids are failing when they're fine. Locate the transmission electrical connector, usually on the side with a large wire harness, disconnect it, and spray both sides with WD-40. 5 minutes and $2 of spray saves $1,500 and weeks without your vehicle. That's understanding what's really wrong versus believing expensive diagnoses. This trick has saved countless drivers from unnecessary transmission rebuilds that cost more than their car's worth. Many transmission problems that seem internal are actually external electrical issues that WD-40 solves instantly. But here's an emergency trick that saves thousands. Before we proceed, kindly tap that like button. We drop more videos that saves your engine and your wallet. One click now might help you dodge a $1,200 repair bill down the line. Anyways, secret number 6, emergency brake caliper cleaning. Picture this. Your car barely moves despite giving it gas. One wheel's dragging, and there's a burning smell. Your brake caliper's seized, and continuing to drive means an $800 repair. The caliper piston's stuck extended, keeping constant pressure on the brake pad against the rotor. Here's the emergency technique. With the wheel removed, spray WD-40 around the caliper piston boot, where it extends from the caliper body. The oil seeps past the seal and lubricates the stuck piston. Work the brake pedal while watching. You'll see the piston move freely as WD-40 breaks down the contamination. For road emergencies, spray WD-40 on the caliper and wait 10 minutes while it cools. The combination often breaks the seizure enough to get you to safety instead of calling expensive emergency towing. This emergency technique has saved drivers from being stranded in dangerous locations when towing isn't immediately available. Here's something that'll blow your mind. Secret number 7, sunroof drain tube clearing. Your sunroof has 4 hidden drain tubes channeling water away from the roof opening. When these pencil-diameter tubes clog with debris, you're looking at thousands in water damage as gallons dump onto electronics, seats, and carpeting. Insurance companies often total vehicles with severe water damage because repair costs exceed the car's value. Here's the prevention. Open your sunroof, find the small drain holes in the corners, pour WD-40 into each hole, then flush with water. The penetrating oil dissolves organic buildup before it becomes complete obstruction. You should see water flowing out near your wheels if drains are working properly. Don't let a $5 maintenance task destroy your interior when this beats catastrophic water damage every time. Most people don't even know these tubes exist until they fail. In fact, the drain tubes run down through the A-pillars and exit behind the front wheels or in the rear wheel wells. What's devastating is water damage from clogged sunroof drains often affects expensive electronic modules that control everything from airbags to engine management. Incredibly enough, some luxury vehicles have had total losses exceeding $30,000 from this preventable problem. Secret number 8, mass airflow sensor restoration. The MAF sensor measures incoming air so your computer calculates correct fuel mixture. When dirty, it causes poor performance and terrible fuel economy. Replacement costs $200 to $400, but most bad sensors just need cleaning. Traditional cleaners damage the delicate sensor elements. WD-40 won't damage MAF sensors like harsh solvents. Spray a small amount and gently clean the sensor wires. Let dry completely, then reinstall. You'll notice immediate improvements in throttle response and fuel economy. Dirty MAF sensors cause rough idling, hesitation, and poor acceleration, all symptoms that disappear with proper cleaning. This trick saved thousands in unnecessary sensor replacements that shops love to push. What's remarkable is the hot wire elements are so delicate that even gentle cleaning with harsh chemicals can destroy them permanently. Moreover, many diagnostic scanners will show MAF sensor faults when the real problem is just contamination on the sensing elements. Best part is, you can often see the difference immediately after cleaning. The sensor elements will look bright and clean instead of dark and grimy. Secret number 9, catalytic converter heat protection. Your catalytic converter runs at 1200 plus degrees and needs heat shields protecting surrounding components. When mounting bolts corrode and shields fall off, fuel lines melt, wiring burns, and floor pans get damaged. all expensive repairs. Spray WD-40 on heat shield mounting bolts to prevent corrosion and seizure. These bolts are particularly vulnerable because they're under your car where road spray hits constantly. Check every few months and spray the mounting hardware. This simple maintenance prevents thousands in heat-related damage from exposed catalytic converters. Many insurance companies won't cover fire damage that results from missing or damaged heat shields. Even worse, some vehicles have been recalled specifically because heat shield failures caused fires and injuries. Here's one that'll blow your mind. Secret number 10. Electronic throttle body hack. Modern cars use electronic throttle bodies instead of cables. When electrical connections corrode, you get erratic throttle response and check engine lights. Replacement costs $500 to $800, but many problems are just corroded connections causing communication errors. Spray WD-40 on throttle body electrical connections to restore proper communication. These drive-by-wire systems rely on perfect electrical communication. When connections corrode, the computer can't control throttle opening properly. Disconnect each connector. Spray both sides with WD-40. Poor throttle response and electronic codes often disappear immediately. The electrical connectors are usually on top of or beside the throttle body assembly. This maintenance prevents thousands in unnecessary throttle body replacements while restoring smooth, responsive acceleration that makes your car feel new again. What's amazing is these systems are so sensitive that even tiny amounts of corrosion can cause the computer to go into limp mode. Furthermore, many shops will quote expensive throttle body calibration procedures when simple connection cleaning fixes the problem. Surprisingly, some electronic throttle bodies have multiple position sensors that all need clean connections to function properly. Secret number 11. Diagnosing radiator fan motor. Your radiator fans prevent engine overheating. When fan motors fail due to corroded connections, engine temperature spikes, causing head gasket failure, warped cylinders, and complete destruction. Fan replacement costs $200 to $400 each. Spray WD-40 on fan motor connections to prevent corrosion and ensure full power delivery. These connections are behind the radiator where road contamination accumulates. Check monthly to prevent expensive cooling system failures. This saves thousands in overheating damage while keeping your engine at safe temperatures. Radiator fans are critical for preventing catastrophic engine damage. When they fail, you've got minutes before serious problems develop. Regular connection maintenance keeps fan motors running at full efficiency, preventing the overheating cascade that destroys engines and leaves you with repair bills exceeding your car's value. What's critical is modern engines run much hotter than older designs and depend entirely on electric fans for cooling at idle. Even more concerning, many cars have multiple fans that must work together. If one fails due to bad connections, the remaining fans can't handle the load. Overheating damage often isn't covered by warranties if it's determined that maintenance neglect caused the failure. This next tip is so useful it'll save you time and money. Secret number 12. ABS system sensor protection. ABS wheel speed sensors detect impending lockup and modulate brake pressure. Sensor replacement costs $150 to $300 per wheel, but many failures are corroded connections, not bad sensors. Before replacing expensive ABS sensors, spray WD-40 on electrical connections. These sensors near the wheels get constant exposure. Clean connections often restore proper ABS operation and clear warning lights. This saves hundreds in unnecessary sensor replacement while keeping your anti-lock brakes functioning properly. The sensors are mounted near each wheel with electrical connectors that face upward into the wheel well, making them vulnerable to contamination. Clean sensor connections restore proper signal strength and eliminate false ABS codes that shops love to use for expensive sensor replacements. What's frustrating is these sensors use magnetic pickup technology that's extremely reliable when connections are clean. In addition, many ABS faults are intermittent, meaning they come and go based on weather and road conditions affecting the connections. Here's a pro tip that'll blow your mind. Secret number 13. Power steering pressure hack. The power steering pressure switch tells your computer when you're turning the wheel. When it fails, you get poor idle quality and reduced assistance. Replacement costs $100 to $200, but most failures are corroded connections. Spray WD-40 on the pressure switch connection to displace moisture and restore operation. This often fixes idle problems and restores full power steering without expensive replacement. Before replacing the switch, try cleaning the electrical connection. It often solves the problem for pennies instead of hundreds. What's interesting is this switch is essentially a pressure-activated electrical contact that's very sensitive to connection resistance. Moreover, power steering fluid leaks often drip onto the electrical connector, accelerating corrosion and connection problems. So this fix works on millions of cars. This next secret could save your fuel system. Secret number 14, fuel pump relay cleaning. Your fuel pump needs a relay for power. When relay contacts corrode, you get intermittent power and unexpected stalling. Fuel pump replacement costs $400–800, but many bad pumps are suffering from poor relay contacts. Remove the fuel pump relay from the fuse box and spray WD-40 on contacts and socket connections. This improves conductivity and often fixes intermittent stalling. Spray both relay contacts and socket for perfect electrical connection. Intermittent stalling often disappears immediately after relay contact cleaning. Fuel pump relays control high current circuits that are vulnerable to contact corrosion. When contacts develop resistance, the pump doesn't get full power, causing pressure drops and stalling. The relay socket connections are equally important for proper operation. Both need cleaning to ensure reliable fuel delivery that keeps your engine running smoothly. What's remarkable is fuel pump relays often click normally even when contacts are corroded, fooling diagnostic tests. Additionally, many fuel pumps fail prematurely because they're forced to work harder when getting reduced voltage through corroded relay contacts. Some vehicles have multiple fuel pump relays that can be swapped for testing, but cleaning them all prevents future failures. Secret number 15, ignition coil protection. Modern engines use individual coils for each cylinder. When coils fail, you get misfires and potential catalytic converter damage. Replacement costs $100–200 per coil, but many failures start with corroded connections. Spray WD-40 on ignition coil connections to prevent corrosion and ensure full spark energy. When connections corrode, coils can't deliver full voltage, causing weak sparks and misfires. Clean connections ensure maximum spark energy, preventing misfires that destroy expensive catalytic converters. Ignition coils generate thousands of volts to fire spark plugs. When connections corrode, performance suffers dramatically. Each cylinder has its own coil with electrical connections exposed to engine heat and moisture. This position makes them vulnerable to contamination that creates intermittent misfires and poor performance. Regular connection maintenance keeps your ignition system firing properly. What's crucial is modern coils operate at much higher voltages than older systems and are more sensitive to connection resistance. Furthermore, misfires from bad coil connections can dump unburned fuel into the exhaust, overheating and damaging catalytic converters. Secret number 16, variable valve timing solenoid hack. VVT systems optimize performance and fuel economy. When solenoids get contaminated, you lose power and trigger check engine lights. Replacement costs $200–400 each, but most problems are contaminated connections. Spray WD-40 on VVT solenoid connections to clean contamination and restore operation. When connections get contaminated, timing becomes erratic, causing power loss and poor fuel economy. Clean connections restore precise timing control, eliminating codes and restoring proper performance. Variable valve timing systems adjust camshaft timing for optimal performance. When solenoid connections get contaminated by oil vapors and road grime, the timing becomes unpredictable. The solenoids are usually mounted on the cylinder head with electrical connectors that accumulate contamination over time. This maintenance saves hundreds in solenoid replacement while keeping your engine operating at peak efficiency. What's fascinating is VVT systems can advance or retard valve timing by up to 60 degrees, dramatically affecting performance when connections are dirty. In addition, oil vapors from valve cover leaks often coat these electrical connections, creating resistance that confuses the engine computer. Remarkably, some engines have multiple VVT solenoids that must work in perfect coordination. One dirty connection can throw off the entire system. Now for the secret WD-40 hack you all have been waiting for. Secret number 17, diagnosing engine sensor network. Modern cars have dozens of sensors monitoring everything. When sensors fail, they trigger cascading problems that destroy engines. All sensors have electrical connections exposed to harsh conditions. When connections corrode, sensors send false readings, making engines run dangerously rich or lean. Spray WD-40 on every engine sensor connection during maintenance. Oxygen sensors, MAF sensors, throttle position sensors, crankshaft sensors, everything. Cars with 300,000 miles still have original components because owners protected electrical connections. This comprehensive method creates a force field against moisture and contamination that kills expensive parts. It's not about the parts, it's about the connections between them. This one secret has kept countless vehicles running like new well past their expected lifespan, proving that the simplest solutions are often the most effective for preventing expensive failures. What's incredible is the average modern engine has over 50 sensors that all depend on clean electrical connections for accurate operation. Even more impressive, some vehicles with this preventive maintenance have reached 500,000 miles on original sensors, while others need replacements at 100,000 miles. Most amazingly, this comprehensive protection costs less than $20 per year, but prevents thousands in sensor and component replacements. Now there is one more thing that is very important for you to save thousands in car repairs. My next video is about mechanic scams that you probably are falling for. This would protect your wallet and save you a lot of money from greedy mechanics.